Welcome into the YouTube stream here for McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That is Tyler.
What it is, sir?
How are you?
You busting out your inner Houston nut today, or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's game week. It's a big game for us in Stillwater, so, you know,
Or the
school spirit and all.
is Bobby P and Sam Pittman, are they in your circle of trust?
I mean, I talk to Sam occasionally.
Okay. Just make sure.
Haven't forgiven Bobby for the exit the last time. He's on the path to forgiveness.
He's on the path.
There's a list of things that must be accomplished before I grant forgiveness.
Yeah, Ashley's got a good comment here. It's woo pig scoops.
Yeah. Yep.
Woo pig scoops. That could stick. Woo pig scoops.
It's close.
McCready.
Right? It's close. Yeah. Instead of Razorbacks at the end.
Yeah. That'd be good. I could get with that one. I could get down with that one. It's one of them that makes me, like, I feel uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was a few that make me uncomfortable.
I do it so much that I've kind of got used to it. I really don't even say hello to people. I just say whoop, whoop.
Is that what they like when they say Roll Tide or War Eagle? When they greet other people, do they say woo pig?
Well, I'm trying to think. I've had a kid there for going on 6 years, at least one.
Yeah,
for 2 years, I had 2 kids there.
Make sure the fans know that's not the same kid.
Yeah, not the same kid. Not the same kid. But I've had at least one kid there since 2019. They're both females. So most of the people that I have met there have been females.
Okay.
I have met some males.
Nancy Pelosi come by and see you?
Oh, I wish. God, that was so nice. Whew. I mean, we'd have to go find a closed door somewhere, you know, me and Nancy.
He's joking, Laura.
No, she knows. It's my hall pass.
Kathy Ireland,
Nancy Pelosi. Yeah.
Strong list you got there.
It is, yeah. Diverse.
Very, yeah. Yes.
I'm not sure that I've ever been met with the woo pig by anybody.
Okay.
Fairly sure that it's never happened.
Yeah, I haven't
But
either.
I'm sure that we will all start saying it routinely.
Let's go.
See, you think this hat's too much? It's just
I'm with it. I mean, we're gonna have a special guest. We're gonna be full tilt anyway here in a little bit, so it doesn't matter.
I put on a different hat.
Doesn't offend me. I don't think it offends the Arkansas fans.
How many we have in here? About 3, maybe
3 or 4.
1. Alan.
Hey, you slick. You find some Razorback fans are out there. They're starting to come out of the woods a little bit. They're ready to go.
I can put on Carson's hat. He's got a hat the girls gave him. I could wear this.
Oh,
hat.
you went
that'll
double.
trigger some people.
Yeah, you went double.
That's Carson's hat. Well, I could just put on the cap I was wearing earlier today, which is perfectly fine.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I like it.
All right, we'll get started on the
show.
show.
You know what today is, don't you?
Yes.
Hey, Grind said before we get started, he said, appreciate you, Grind, for the super chat. He said, my weekend parlay is Pitt +2 versus Cincy. Okay, I'm there. Iowa versus Iowa State first half under 17.5. Yeah, that's a low under. But, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, we all expect it. Eastern Michigan +24.5 versus Washington. Okay. Tulsa +7.5 versus Arkansas State. I like that one. Kansas -5.5 versus Illinois. Tulsa money line versus Arkansas State. Grind, I actually like your card, man. What does that pay? What's the odds on that, Grind? You don't have to super chat it, obviously. What's your odds on that? Well, we'll see when we'll get it. That's like hella. That's big ass parlay right there.
Those are hard to pull off too.
We got Baggy Smalls in the chat. He's a resident North Carolina State fan. He's ready to go. Quick, you client. Let's go. NC State Wolfpack.
NC State's a client. Is Tennessee a client?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm trying not to break my rules this week, so it's going to be very hard for me to do that. 230. All that for +230? Oh, those are 2 team parlays. I take it. All right, we're good. Let's crank her up.
Welcome into episode 204. Is that correct?
That's correct.
204 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey here on this Thursday afternoon. Hope everyone is having a great Thursday as we get closer to the weekend, week 2 of the college football season, week 1 in the National Football League. This podcast brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and 0 sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. So check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Neal, it's Thursday. It's Make It Rain Thursday, and I'm rolling deep here. You know I'm bringing in the heat. I got the Rain Inferno Red Dragon.
Yep.
And when I get the Red Dragon in me, so start the clock. It's 2:05 is when I took my first sip. So by 2:50, this show is guaranteed to be off the rails by 2:50. In about 45 minutes, I will be just 10 foot tall. I'll be ready to go. And have hair probably.
Oh.
Yeah. I may need a haircut.
If that makes you grow hair, I will be freebasing.
I wouldn't grow hair if I could grow hair. I'm retired.
You would not?
No.
If you could grow a head full of hair, you wouldn't do
I mean,
it?
I can technically now. I'm done.
You can grow hair.
I prefer my head.
You
My
can
head
grow
shaved.
hair all over your head.
Yeah.
No bald spot.
No, I'll have a bald spot, but I can grow enough to look normal.
But if you were offered a full head of hair,
no
bald spot, you wouldn't take it?
No, I would not. I'm retired. I shave my head now.
Yeah. I think I would still take it.
You would take the hair?
I think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Mama likes it bald.
This would be the I'm within probably the last 2 or 3 years of, first two or three years that I would think about not doing it just because I'm so used to it now. But yeah, I would still take the head of hair.
Sorry, I hope she's not listening. Neal at Cooper Chevrolet chat is already bumping. Neal at Cooper Chevrolet. Check this out. This is great. All you guys listen, if you're in need of a truck, if you're looking for new trucks, listen to this. Chevy truck season has just announced. You can get super low 1.9% APR, or you can finance up to 84 months plus no payments for 90 days, or you can get up to $2,250 off trade allowance when you purchase the new Chevy Silverado crew cabs. Call our friends at Cooper Chevrolet at area code 256-236-4481. That's 256-236-4481, and tell them that your two favorite bald-headed guests, McCready and Siskey, sent you. Neal, we're also brought to you by PTG Outdoors. Our good friend Brandon at PTG Outdoors, he'll probably be in the chat a little bit, but they are a Camus boats dealer. And remember, when you buy a Camus boat, he may send you a whole damn case of Camus. They are Camus boats dealer. They have both fresh and saltwater boats. They sell and service Mercury outboards. We do custom marine electronic installations with Garmin, Humminbird, and Low Ranch products. You can get all of your fishing needs and custom golf cart retrofits where you replace all of the batteries with a single lithium battery. They have locations in Grenada, Mississippi, and Northport, Alabama. Go to the online store at ptgoutdoors.com. If you're fishing, it's fishing season. We have people fishing for crappie today. You need some new jigs, go to PTG Outdoors. Need a new pole? Go to ptgoutdoors.com. Check them out. They'll ship it to you anywhere in America.
You've had Wendy's nugs dipped in sauce.
We're getting started early.
But have you had them covered in sauce? Wendy's new spicy nugs take the crispy and spicy nugs you love and turn them up to 11. Choose between flavors like buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, or if you're a real heat seeker, try spicy ghost pepper only on Wendy's signature spicy nugs. I dare you. That's 7 delicious ways to try the nugs you already love, so pick a flavor. Grab some extra napkins and prepare to nug like you've never nugged before for a whole new way to nug. It's got to be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Nug like you've never nugged before.
Never. That's how to do it.
Let's go.
That's how to do it.
All right, Neal.
I dare you.
Let's crank this up. Got a few topics, and we'll get to our Make It Rain Thursday picks. Talk about the games. I'm sure you saw this. I thought this was just really common sense parties just to come out early today. Memphis, I guess another report, I thought this was already done, but another report came out basically saying that they paid two players $130,000 and $160,000 to gain their commitment. And then there was an academic scandal, brought back up it's already been out, but brought back up the academic scandal there. And I thought that was very curious timing. And so on the first thing, we still don't have a punishment yet, right? And so for the first thing, like, at what point do we give a shit anymore about players getting paid? You know what I mean? Like, why would we punish, you know what I'm saying, for something that's now It's almost like going back and 3 years after your state legalized marijuana,
Yeah.
throwing somebody in jail for possession of marijuana on the road. 3 years after it's already been legal.
Yeah.
It seems kind of like I'm tired of it a little bit. Like I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I don't know the details on this one.
I don't know when it occurred.
Jeffrey talked about some of this on the podcast today, mostly about the academic portions of it.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on with all these online classes. So let's don't act like this is
Oh no,
just a Memphis problem, right? But and that goes on, especially with online classes. But is this the hill we're gonna die on? You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, it just doesn't make. I felt weird, the common sense party. I'm the vice president on the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're the president. I'm the VP. All right, you get the big house on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I got the little house.
This is not near the top of the things on my platform.
It's not on your platform?
Not really.
Yeah, it's not on my platform either. But
Yeah.
Common Sense Party does need to address it in when we do, anytime we have teleprompted speeches, it's something we could probably address, just off the teleprompter though. We won't do interviews. We're just going to do just teleprompter speeches at rallies that we'll cover this. But here's my thing: is the timing is really weird. You got a new AD. You had coaches leave. You had one, and my favorite, first time I've ever heard this working, by the way. We had one coach that got fired, said he was going to go public on a radio station, and they announced his appearance actually tomorrow.
Yeah,
and then he got rehired.
Yeah, that was
like, come on, like.
So I mean, look,
that's weird for me.
I don't know the insides of the story at all. My radar goes off that this is an AD that might be looking for some reasons to make a change.
And that's where I was going. This is the way, in my opinion, you got a new AD. He probably wants to bring in his guy. He doesn't like what's going on for whatever reason. And you know what we can do here? We can find a way not to pay the buyout.
Yeah.
And so this has
at a place that probably can't afford the buyout.
Correct. At a place that can't, because they're probably overextended on Penny's contract, and it's a way to get out of the buyout without doing that. Look at there. Hang on. We got the red flag.
For what?
First one, hang on. Don't say anything yet. I'm restarting a TikTok. I've learned how to do this. Before we get kicked off, you just restart it. So I imagine before I hit the start button, I imagine it was about the teleprompter, and I bet it was.
Oh, that's really sensitive.
Yeah. I didn't say anything, did I?
I'm trying to think.
I didn't say anything like
specific about a candidate.
I didn't say anything to be restricted.
I mean, you didn't mention the fact that Kamala Harris has only given one interview and that Tim Walz is avoiding all questions.
And Tim Walz's problem is not that he avoids all questions. His problem is he thought running a 4-4 defense. That's a Cardinal. That's unvotable for. Running a 4-4, that's unvotable for. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's try it.
Wasn't actually his defense.
Yeah, it wasn't his defense.
He was kind of an assistant coach.
Yeah, that's worse than not doing interviews. But anyway, it feels like a way out. You know what I mean? So,
it was you mentioned a certain substance.
Oh, did I? Oh, I sure did. It gets you every time.
That's what it is. Isn't that wild?
Yes, that's wild.
That is bizarre. So in a live, if you mention that.
Yes, it gets you every time. I didn't realize I even said that.
Oh, yeah, you must have said the word.
Yeah, gets you every time.
So they've got bots listening for words, and if you say the words, it's a thing.
Yeah, but if you keep saying it, that's when they suspend you.
Oh,
they give you a warning. And so what I do is when I see the warning, I just turn it off and start over again.
Okay.
So everybody needs to be over here at MPW Digital anyway.
So you viewed it as, hey, strike one, screw that. I'm just going to go back to an empty count.
Yes.
Okay.
You threw the runner out at second base, still in second base. I'm getting a fresh count.
Okay. I understand now.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So the other topic I want to talk about, and it's our good friend. Like, I love my guy. And he snuck one in there on us today in his article. Ross Dellinger, if you don't follow Ross Dellinger on social media, you're missing out. This guy actually reports facts. He's a great writer, love him to death. Big fan. I'm a big fan of his. Really cool guy. When he comes to town to cover games, we go have dinner and things like that. Yeah. Awesome guy.
Great guy.
Snuck one in there on us today. And everybody just kind of like, they saw kind of what I did. And you thought the article was all just about House versus NCAA, and everybody's kind of getting tired. There was a very critical paragraph in his article today
on Yahoo.
On Yahoo Sports. Very critical article. And I quote, quietly, conference and NCAA leaders are working to establish a regulatory system to manage and enforce this new revenue share model, seeking to hire outside entities to oversee the management and enforcement systems. Not the NCAA. Power Conference officials have seen presentations from some of the world's largest professional service providers, such as Price Waterhouse Coopers. The NCAA is going to try to be a part of the breakoff, but this is the first steps of the breakoff. This is what this is the meeting that I've been told was coming. They are getting together, trying to find a third party to basically set up an entire system to manage money, do enforcement, penalties, the whole deal. So they're basically breaking away from the NCAA regulating football. And it's going to be the power. If you read further, it's the power conferences that are doing it too. It's not the group of five.
Are they unionizing the players?
That's going to be part of. That's why the third party is trying to present.
I'll have to read the story.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. But
this isn't a criticism of you at all. I can't get all of that from that one paragraph.
Yeah, that was just the critical paragraph of the article. Basically, here's what the deal is the same thing we've been talking about the whole time. The settlement is not going. There's several things they've left out of the settlement. I don't think the settlement's going to get through. They understand it won't get through. This is going to be. They're just going to say kick rocks and go try to find somebody, an outside entity to govern, not only govern, but enforce and govern rules and regulations as it comes to paying the players, which is quote unquote the break off. It's coming. And it was only the power conferences were involved, where it's not group of five, but that's coming down the line. So here we go. I mean, I think there's going to be, in my personal opinion, I think the court case supposed to start trial in January. I think they'll get that kicked. They'll have a plan in place by next summer. You'll have one more season you may have revenue sharing, which is supposed to go into effect for next fall, but that's not, the revenue sharing hasn't been addressed. Title IX hasn't been addressed like we talked about. And the players haven't agreed on it, more importantly. Let's start there. The players haven't agreed on it first, then Title IX.
Yeah, I have a hard time getting anywhere with any of this mentally without the players.
They have to, right?
Unionizing and agreeing, but in a way that is similar to professional sports in that, so pick a college player who's going to play college pro football next year.
Carson Beck.
Okay, so you're Carson Beck.
Yep.
As of today, you're not an NFL football player. You're not under contract with any of the 32 franchises. He'll be drafted in late April, and at that point, an NFL franchise will own his rights. They will presumably sign him to a contract. That contract will automatically put him into the union. And so even though he wasn't part of a team when his team's player, let's say, goes to the New York Giants.
Okay.
He wasn't a Giant when this deal was agreed to, ratified. So he wasn't technically represented. He doesn't have a legal leg to stand on. He can't go in and go, no. I know there's a cap for rookie scale, but I didn't agree to that. I want more. He would have no legal standing because when he's drafted into the rules. There's nothing in place at all at the college level right now. Nothing that high school kid at Pell City, Alabama, right, who signs with Alabama next year. And I have no idea if there's a player at Pell City before anybody.
That's just close to hometown. I was like, look at you.
Kid at Pell City signs with Alabama or Auburn, whoever. When he goes there, he hasn't agreed to anything, and there is no agreement in place. And he's like, I didn't agree to the settlement. He actually does have a legal standing.
Yep.
Because there's nothing in place for him. I didn't agree to a limitation. What do you mean a salary cap? So until we get there, I don't know.
Let me ask you a question.
Until we address Title IX, which is like this giant elephant in the room, it's not even an elephant. Because an elephant's like sometimes like, oh, it's a peaceful little elephant over there. No, this is a giant, like hungry lion right there. Or tiger. It's like, what are what are we doing? I mean, you can't go forward without, hey, what are we, before we leave the room, how are we going to get out of here with the tiger that's staring at us? I mean, what are we doing? This is nothing against Ross. Ross is awesome. He's one of the best journalists in the country. But everybody in college athletics is just pretending that these issues are just going to be resolved. And it's kind of like an algebra equation that's complex. And you have like, okay, well, we got to solve for X and Y and Z. It's hey, we'll just figure out Y and Z. That'll be there. Let's just solve for X real quick. No. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question.
Because my common, in all seriousness, my common sense just, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't think so. I mean, I know I'm stupid, but on this, I'm not. I've talked to too many people. Yeah. This is way too many assumptions are being made that everyone's just going to agree to the settlement. The players have won everything. Why would they automatically volunteer to end the winning streak?
Settlement's not going through. I would be shocked. And it may go through. Hey, it may go through. And guess what's going to happen the second it goes through? Lawsuit. Here's my question for you, Neal. Seriously. If this is Price, Waterhouse, Cooper, or whoever is the third party they go to and they decide to do this, right?
Yeah, sure.
All right, my question for you is, what does this come first or does the union come first before you break off? I guess that's my question. Because I don't remember the origin of the NFL.
I don't know.
They got to kind of go hand in hand, right? You can't have one without the other.
Yeah, and then, again, the whole word break off, I get it. And I used to use that word a lot, and I get where people are saying it. But so what, just football in and of itself is going to become a completely separate entity?
Yes.
How?
I mean, you got to break off.
So they won't be associated with the schools?
No, I think they're going to be associated with school. I think
then they're going to be subject to Title IX.
No, because they don't get federal funding. That's what separates Title IX from not. If you break
the
off,
institutions get federal funding,
right? But if no federal funding goes to that, that's how they can get away from Title IX. And it takes 85 scholarships, or in this case, what we're about to go to, 105 scholarships. If that went through, you're taking that away from the Title IX number. If it's not federally funded, they don't have to answer for Title IX. All the schools that join the break off,
but their programs today, that football programs that aren't receiving federal funds.
Agree. Right. Those are the 100% agree.
Right.
Those are the ones that will be a part of the break off, not the Monroes, the Arkansas States, the people that have to get federal funding to supplement their athletic department. And instead of having an owner of your team, the athletic department's technically the owner.
I mean, not to go down this rabbit hole because we got other stuff to do too, and we have a hard out today. But so those programs break away, and then they're still going to play the ULMs of the world?
Oh, I don't know about all that. I don't think so. I think it's going to be what you've always wanted, because the TV money, right? That's what's controlling everything. So I think when you break off, it's going to look like you're not going to have the
because if I'm ESPN, Disney, whoever, like I don't have their whole lineup in front of me, but yeah, dude, I've got SEC games. I mean, I've got
Nicholls, LSU.
I mean, I don't want that game in my inventory.
Right.
I don't want Middle Tennessee at Ole Miss. I don't want South Florida at Alabama. I have no interest in Buffalo at Tennessee. Frankly, I have limited interest in some of the, quote, good games I'm getting. But I have no interest in those games. I don't want those games. If I'm a TV person, I don't want those games. I'm not talking about fans who love a school. You love Alabama so much that you're going to go to the Quad on game day if they're playing Pell City. You're going. I get it. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the TV people that are like, so I've got these games that by the first part of the second quarter, nobody outside of the most dedicated fans or gamblers are watching these games. I'm not getting any mainstream views.
Nope.
I don't want those games.
I think that's kind of part of I think that's because that's what's pushing it, right? That's the giant deal. Romulus, thank you for the super chat, Bubby. Says settlement equals Titanic, Title IX equals iceberg. Great show. Thank you, dog.
Oh, that's a good point. I think it's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where it's going.
It's very frustrating because it's like you, from where this thing started to where we're going. It's like, guys, like if this was what we're doing, okay, if this is what we're doing, and we're having secret kumbaya moments to break off, because that's what this is. It's like a power leader. You're all getting together, and why are we doing it now? Like, this shit could have been done a long time ago and avoided all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I get
I'm
frustrated.
not sure all the schools want to break off. Some of the schools have looked at this and gone, hey, yes, this is chaotic and it's insane, but we're more competitive in this environment.
Yeah. Well, the settlement's going to bring them back. If excuse me, the revenue sharing is going to bring back the level playing field. I mean, you're still going to have, when I say level playing field, amongst the conferences. Okay. But like you'll be more equal inside your conference. Now, and they're not there anymore, but the Pac-12 is not going to be equal to, or the ACC is not going to have the same resources that the SEC teams are. So you're still going to have separation of big groups, but it is going to make more resource-friendly inside leagues. So like some of the schools that, like the Vandy's of the world, the Mississippi States of the world, they're going to want Arkansas. They're going to want revenue sharing because they're not going to want it, but I'm saying it's going to make them put them on a more equal playing field than the others. So we'll see. It was kind of funny that they're having a secret powwow, and of all the shit that we're covering, Ross is the only one that's reporting it. So thank you, Ross. That's awesome. All right, Neal, do you know what time it is, sir?
Yeah, it's time for me to make some bad picks and fall further behind.
The moment you've all been waiting for. It's Thursday. It's I guess, is this week 2 now?
Week two of college football.
Of college football?
Mm-hmm.
Is it week 3? Week 2, week 3,
it's
week 2?
It's technically week 3, but it's week 2.
It's time for Make It Rain Thursday.
I mean, college football's so crazy they can't even get 0, 1, 2 correct.
Isn't it? I mean, just simple
what is
things.
week 0 anyway? It's the dumbest. That is dumb.
By the way,
it's week 1.
I meant to tell you, I said this on a TikTok live. Was this today or yesterday?
15 weeks. You have 15 weeks to play 12 games. So you have weeks 1 through 15.
I heard Chase on when you were doing your Blue Sky Live show with Chase in the morning. I think this was, I don't know what day it was because I'm behind in my head and all this stuff. But he was talking about, I thought it was I had never thought about it. I thought it was the greatest damn idea I've ever heard. We've got 2 minutes before we can get going. He said he heard or talked to or interviewed the Peach Bowl president.
Yeah, Gary Stokan.
And about the idea of taking like the Independence Bowl and all this and making those like week 0 games or week 1 games and making them one of the most ingenious ideas I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, well, Stokan's very smart. And for Stokan to be saying it, it means it probably has some traction.
I had not heard about it. And I was like, holy shit, that makes so much sense.
Well, I mean, look, you don't have to be a genius or a TV star. I mean, a TV network executive to know that they look at some of these games and go, we just don't want to keep paying for these. You want us to pay these exorbitant rights fees. We're having a hard time getting people to watch. Young people don't watch.
Yeah.
It's a major issue if you're TV people looking forward. Talk to young people. They don't watch games. They watch highlights.
Yep.
They follow things on social media.
They watch TikTok clips.
But they don't sit and watch 3.5-hour games.
Yeah.
And so you're talking about these rights fees, and they're like, hey, look, man, if we're going to pay for these, we've got to have more attractive matchups. We've got to have more intersectional games that draw interest. We cannot continue to – who did Alabama play last week? Western Kentucky. I mean, ain't nobody watching that. Except for the people who are big Alabama fans. Nobody's watching that past like the first 10 minutes of the game. Or a gambler. And that's not a big enough cross-section. All jokes aside, we can all do, well, a lot of people are gambling. Yeah, a lot of people are gambling, but the common mainstream person's not. That's not what – you're trying to get people that are interested in games. They're only going to watch games, 2 things, competitive games and games with name value.
But could you imagine, like, say, okay, you can keep your same bowl tie-ins, right?
Sure.
But you know how much money would be, like, all right, the Independence Bowl used to be, I don't even know what it is now. It used to be SEC Big Ten, right?
Sure.
Could you imagine having, like, hey, the Independence Bowl, it's week 0, okay, week 0, and you have Mississippi State versus Purdue.
Sure.
That place would sell out.
Sure.
Every freaking person on the planet would watch that game.
People would watch it, and all the kids would play in it.
And they'd all play in it.
Yep.
And then, like, and so what you do is you have your bowl games, the non-New Year's 6 games, because all the New Year's 6 games now are in the playoffs, right? So you take all of and they get to pick, right? And as soon as the season's over, they can pick and you can schedule it. And that's your 13th game. Week 0 is your 13th game. And and if you don't make the playoffs, you don't go to a bowl. The season's over after and hear me out, this is what I was kind of thinking further down the line with this plan, is you do that, and then the season's over. Regular season's over, okay? So for whatever reason, let's say Mississippi State, they're not going to make the playoffs, okay? They finished the Egg Bowl. The season's over Thanksgiving weekend. Well, now that gives – you don't have to worry about bowl game prep, opt-outs. Now you can go straight into the portal.
But you got to worry about one thing.
What's that?
ESPN pays a lot of money, and ESPN really loves that December programming.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a private. They got issues. That's my point, right? I mean,
but don't you think they would make more money, ESPN, doing that on the front end than they would the back end?
I mean, maybe.
But you're just talking about actually filling the time slots.
ESPN's gamble, and it shows by looking at these early season schedules, is that people are so hungry for football and they love football so much that if it were week 7, right, and it was Furman at Ole Miss, Western Kentucky at Alabama, people would be bitching about it. But because it's week 1, it's like, I haven't seen football in so long, I'll watch anything. ESPN goes, we got to put something on the TV screens in December because they have all those days where people are at home, people aren't working or whatever, and truth is college basketball doesn't get those eyes.
Yeah. That's a fair point.
I heard people say, well, you can put basketball on there. I'm like, it doesn't work.
Not in December.
People aren't watching it in December. People don't turn their attention, except for a handful of programs. People don't turn their attention to basketball until sometime in January.
Yeah. Criteria Club starts rolling in December, though. We'll be ready to go. All right, Neal, it's time for Mega Rain Thursday. I'll let you crank it up. All right, so here's the going into week number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Neal, I'm 4-2 with a plus 2.25 units. You are 2-4 minus 2 units. So I have a 4.25 unit lead going into week 2.
Okay.
So I will defer to you. I will let you crank her up, sir. Go ahead.
Did a lot of studying. Lots of studying this week. At least 2 minutes. I'm gonna stick with games that I either care about or know something about or feel really strongly about.
Good strategy. Like your strategy start with.
Step 1 is this is the care game.
Okay. The care game.
This is the game I care about.
The game you care about. So
Iowa.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Arkansas.
I mean, put a hat back on. Iowa.
Do I need to go get it?
No, it's okay.
All right.
At home against Iowa State. Everybody hung up
on... Are you going against my Cyclones, my Quick U Cyclones?
Yep. Everybody hung up on numbers. Iowa can't score. Blah, blah, blah. The over-under's 12. All the jokes. We scored 40 points last week, and we win this game all the time.
No, that is not true. Struggled with it recently.
Won it last year.
Well, they won it in Iowa City last year before
that.
It
ain't in Iowa City. It's in Iowa City this time, not in Ames. Give me Iowa -3 over Iowa State.
Wasn't there a block punt 2 years ago in that game? Like it was like a 7-3 game and somebody blocked a punt or something?
That's one of our famous offensive plays, a block punt. We practice that on each week.
I want to go on record and let everybody know that I'm pulling for my Iowa State Cyclones in this one. Iowa State, sneaky good team this year. And I think Iowa's sneaky good. I think it's going to be actually one of the better damn games to watch. If you like defense, if you like offense, don't turn it on in that game. But Iowa State, sneaky good.
We scored 40 last week.
It was 12-0 late in the third, though. They just ran away with it late.
The last 15 minutes count, same as the first 15 minutes.
They do. That's true.
I mean,
all right, Neal.
When a team scores 7 in the second inning, you're like, oh, well, those runs don't count because they're in the second inning. They didn't score in the 8th. That's so stupid.
Love it. Neal. The Michigan Wolverines are hosting the Texas Longhorns.
They are. Big game.
Big game. College game day will be there.
11 a.m. on Fox.
Ann Arbor.
It's Big Noon Saturday probably Saturday. There, too?
I imagine. Yeah, I know college game day is.
Clashing.
I imagine.
It'll be like Anchorman.
Oh, that would be great. Just staring at each other and having
Nick Saban versus Urban Meyer. Last time that happened, Urban Meyer had a heart attack.
Allegedly. But he was like Lazarus. He came back and ended up, couldn't coach anymore at Florida. And then ended up going to Ohio State.
He ain't the only one.
Yeah. Joined the crew.
I mean.
All right, Neal. Ann Arbor, Michigan. The Texas Longhorns are traveling into Ann Arbor.
Yeah, Iowa's won 9 of the last 10.
Have they?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Damn, my bad. Hey, y'all stop hating on my Cyclones. My Cyclones are freaking. It's 1-1. since they've been Quick U clients. We're 1-1.
Tupelo says they should change the name of the trophy from the Cy Hawk Trophy to the Hawk Tua Trophy.
Oh, wow.
That's what he said.
Well, do you know what that means?
Yeah, I know it.
3-time world champ. 3-time world champ. 3-time world champ. Scoops McCready.
Yep.
The Texas Longhorns are 7.5-point favorites against the defending national champions.
Mm-hmm.
Two teams that made the playoffs last year.
Yep.
But, Neal, this is not 2023. This is 2024.
It is.
It's an election year.
It is.
And I'm not voting blue in an election year.
Okay.
Give me, it's 7.5 and Neal for the first time in week number 2. It's not enough. Give me the Texas Longhorns all over Michigan. Michigan, it was 16-10 game against Fresno last week. And their defense is playing well, but this isn't Fresno coming in there, boss. Give me
Texas looked awfully good last week.
Give me the Texas Longhorns big over Sharon Moore and the Michigan Wolverines. I got a text today. I've got to confirm this. I meant to do this before the show started. Let me pull this up. This blew my mind. I got a text today that said Sharon Moore is not even coaching the season, not under contract.
Apparently the contract's not signed.
Oh, but MOU is. Okay, that's fine. I was like, I got a text and I was like, that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I didn't hear about that was that on social media or something somebody saw?
I can't remember. I saw it somewhere.
Yeah.
That was one of your predictions, is that they'll make him the fall guy.
It may start Saturday.
Yeah.
Because they got a pick six on a screen. They were driving down the screen. They got a pick six and kind of extended the lead late. I think Texas runs away with this one.
I do too, actually.
All right, go ahead, Neal. Pick number 2.
Pick number 2, we got an SEC game this week. Kentucky entertains South Carolina.
Oh.
The Wildcats, a 10-point favorite. They're going to roll past the number 10. I think Kentucky's actually really good. I don't think they're in the top echelon of teams in the SEC, but I think they're underneath that echelon, and I think they're going to scare some of the top echelon teams. South Carolina, on the other hand, might be the worst team in the league. Give me Kentucky minus 10.
Neal, you picked it. I'm not going to pick on top of you. This is my second favorite pick of the week. I will personally be betting the exact same thing. Just two different. I think this is free money.
And by the way, Kentucky, wear the same uniform. That was fantastic. It's so good. When you just go conventional on your uniform, it's just amazing. Stay with it.
Can I be Debbie Downer on this one?
Sure.
I really like the chrome helmets, though.
Oh, no.
I know you don't, but
I do. It's not that I dislike chrome helmets. It's that when you have their uniform, it's so perfect. You don't. It's like when you're the Dodgers. You don't need an alternate uniform. Just wear your uniform.
I know. I just really like that chrome helmet, though.
Okay.
That's just me personally.
I know.
Just me personally. I do like it, though. But that's my second favorite.
Big Blue Nation.
Yeah, hashtag Big Blue Nation. Let's go. I think that's a bloodletting. All right, Neal. My second game.
Yep.
Got to do it. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. You know, Neal, I spent 7 years.
You're picking against Auburn?
No. I spent 7 years of my life, Neal, in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
I know.
I spent 7 years of my life, and they were 7 wonderful years.
Yeah. Well, all that investment in the football program has apparently gone empty because they're not the same.
I love Jonesboro. I love everything about Jonesboro. It's been really good to me. This weekend, Neal, they're hosting the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Mm-hmm. Not SIZ Hurricane, the Golden Hurricane.
A singular hurricane.
Singular hurricane. Just one Golden Hurricane. And Neal, Tulsa is 7.5-point underdogs. And I hate this for my Arkansas State, my Jonesboro brethren. Give me the Tulsa Golden Hurricane plus 7.5 in Jonesboro. I had it on our list to talk about the other day when AJ was on. We never got to it. So this past weekend, Neal, I don't know if you ever saw that on social media. There was, at the end of the game, they threw a fade. and the receiver catches the ball.
Yes.
But when he hits the ground, he didn't complete the catch. The
Yeah.
ball is literally laying between him and the official. It's on the ground. The official appropriately calls it incomplete. Well, they reviewed it and the camera angles, and I knew as soon as they hit review, I was like, oh, this may be interesting, because I understand where they take. We always used to joke about being at Arkansas State. It's like, brother, it's hard to overturn a call in the stadium because of the way where they set the cameras up. But they did. They overturned it because they didn't have basically the end zone angle. The only two cameras for games like that are in the other end zone and from the press box. So you wouldn't even be able to see the ball. I knew exactly what corner of the end zone that was in. And the ball is literally laying on the ground. And like from me to you, from the official, he goes incomplete. They review it in Birmingham. Like, oh, no, it was a completion. And I'm like, what? And so Arkansas State wins the game.
Oh.
So and I got a friend, Luke Matheson, who runs the Red Wolf Report for Arkansas State.
Yeah,
Luke?
I know Luke.
So Luke was there back then, and he was messing with me. I was like, brother, I said, I guarantee you when the coaches send that play off from UCA, that they're going to get we're sorry we missed that one. And sure enough, the Sun Belt Conference comes out and says, hey, we missed that one. Sorry. Like, are you going to be sorry when a coach loses his damn job for losing too many games? That's just that was the worst. I'm not joking when I say this. That is the worst overturned call in the history of instant replay. I've never seen one that bad. I mean, I've seen some that they didn't overturn never seen one that obvious. But give me the Tulsa Golden Hurricane plus 7.5 against Arkansas State.
All
right. Pick 3 for you, boss.
Pick 3. I've never done this in my 3 seasons doing picks. Never done it.
Oh, wow.
Never picked an Ole Miss game. Stayed away from them.
You haven't?
Never have. That streak comes to an end. Ole Miss.
You take a middle?
Is a 41.5 point favorite over Middle Tennessee.
What is it, Neal?
It's not even close to enough. Unless I get lucky and they run a continuous clock in the second half. I think Ole Miss wins this by 50 plus. I'm as big of a number as it is. I'm taking. I'll take Lane Kiffin's Rebels lay the 41.5.
The only thing I can think of when Vegas set this line, the only thing I can think of is whoever set the line called Lane personally and said, "Hey man, are you planning on running the ball at all this game?" And Lane said, "Yeah, I'm going to plan on working my running game."
The one thing that gave me some hesitation is that Ole Miss was adequate in the running game on Saturday. Everything else was really good offensively. And that just maybe he's going to be like, look, we got to get this thing going a little bit. But here's the thing. They don't play a real game for 3 more weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they're going to.
It may not be this week.
and while I don't think these are the games that like get you your player to New York and stuff, I do think if Kiffin has his druthers, Jackson Dart's going to be. We got a lot of football.
A lot of football.
But if Kiffin has his druthers, I always have to repeat these things because people take it and misconstrue what you say and turn it into something. He would love nothing more from a recruiting standpoint to be able to say, hey, my quarterback at Ole Miss was a Heisman finalist.
Yeah, it does help in recruiting.
And to do that, Dart's got to have massive numbers.
It does help in recruiting. When I was fortunate enough when I was at Alabama, we didn't win any, but we had back-to-back runner-ups with A.J. McCarron and Amari Cooper. And
that really helps recruiting, man.
And when we had our dinner on Saturday night dinner in the stadium,
they're doing the Heisman thing.
We had it on the big screen.
Pretty powerful.
It's pretty cool.
Well, especially when you're recruiting, you got quarterbacks that you're trying to recruit, and he's trying to recruit big 5-star national type quarterbacks.
It helps.
That would help.
It helps. Yeah, but I mean, Middle Tennessee, I watched that game. I mean, don't ask me why, but Middle Tennessee, I watched that game. They had to drive to the end of the game. It was 25-25. They had to drive to the end of the game and score with like no time on. So, and then Tennessee Tech is not Furman.
No, and Middle Tennessee has a couple of offensive line injuries. I just don't think they're going to be able to score. And if you tell me Ole Miss if you told me Ole Miss finishes in the 40s, I don't believe you. I think they get into the 50s.
And that would require Middle Tennessee scoring twice.
And I just don't see it.
In my honest opinion, the only way, I mean, a lot has to happen for Middle Tennessee to cover. I think there has to be like a defense. Middle Tennessee has to
Sure.
score like a defensive
Sure.
touchdown, a fumble, scoop, and score. And I think Lane has to just quit deciding he doesn't want to score anymore. Like I think they covered this in the first half.
Yeah, and I think when they put the backup quarterbacks in, and you saw this last week, they're going to keep running their offense.
I don't know what, because I don't do this. This would probably be a game, all kidding aside. This would be a game if I was betting this game, which I may. This would be a first half line game for me.
Yeah,
because I think they may get to 42 before the first half.
they could.
But I like that one too. All right, Neal. My second pick, or my third pick. I don't like doing this, but I just can't not do it because I got to win the competition. This is a competition bet. I don't like doing this because I love my guys at NC State. I think they're really good. But give me the Tennessee Volunteers.
Agreed.
-9. I think this is a chalk week. I think Vegas is trying to get us back a little bit. But give me Tennessee -9 on the road at NC State. I think NC State,
It's in Charlotte, by the way.
Yeah, what I say at NC State.
I made the same mistake.
It's in Charlotte. It's a neutral site game. But, I mean, that's not even the
It's
point.
even another reason to go with Tennessee.
Yeah. I think just Nico, I know what I saw. I know they played UTC, but I know what I saw.
Yep.
And this is not even a thing with NC State. This is not an NC State problem. This is a Tennessee shit problem.
Doran's done a really good job. I think Tennessee's a major sleeper.
Yeah. They're scoring points, and he's really good. Give me Tennessee -9 because I just think they're going to score points. I don't know if NC State can keep up with them.
All right, my fourth pick, I'm staying in the SEC. I went with Kentucky. I went with Ole Miss, and I'm riding my Crimson Tide again this week. Kalen DeBoer probably heard some of the ridiculous criticism, and he's like, I'll show you. And he wins these games. The record for Kalen DeBoer in like non-conference games against Sisters of the Poor is it's some ridiculous.
It is a step up from last week, though, competition-wise. South Florida is not going. They're going to be a really.
I understand.
Yeah, it's not. They're better than Western Kentucky, but
yes.
I'm with you.
It's a big number. I covered it last week. I'll cover it again this week, I hope. Alabama -31 against USF.
This is such an, all kidding aside, give you a coach's standpoint here, very interesting game if you're an Alabama fan because Josh Heupel will be watching this game very closely because it's the same offense. And so if you see something, if you're a fan and you see something that's working against Alabama this week with South Florida, I guarantee you it will be called the third Saturday of October from Tennessee because it's the same offense.
Okay.
All right, Neal, my fourth game. This is what I call a Jeffrey Wright special. Okay? Jeffrey Wright special. So shout out to Jeffrey Wright. The Cal Bears are traveling across country.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to Jordan-Hare Stadium.
The fighting Justin Wilcoxes.
Roll
Tide, De Niro. Roll Tide.
Let's go, De Niro. They're taking on Grimes Auburn Tigers. Yeah. Not my Auburn Tigers, Grimes Auburn Tigers.
Yeah.
And Auburn is favored by 13 points.
Yep.
Guess what, Neal?
I'm going to guess you're going to say it's not enough.
It's not enough. I think Auburn makes a statement in this game.
Wow.
I think you could.
Well, beating Cal, that's one hell of a statement.
I would take this. Well,
I know, I'm just picking.
Last year they had a really rough offensive performance out in Cal, and they're going to go, we play Cal again. We're at home, and we're going to be better. I think Auburn wins this game by almost 30 points. I think this is a super blowout.
Wow.
Give me the Auburn Tigers at home -13. I don't think this game's close at all.
Wow.
And let's don't forget about Johnny Humidity. Is going to be jumping on that back. That's tough for the West Coast crew. Let's go.
My next one, and I actually think this is free money. Oregon struggled last week a little bit. Who'd they play? Idaho.
Played Idaho.
You know, they're a little flat. Had a few drives that they went for it on fourth down, didn't get it, left a lot of points on the board. Boise played this shootout down in Statesboro, pulled out a win. And I think those two things have led to this number being lower than it should be. It's in Eugene, Oregon at home against Boise State. The Ducks are giving 20, and as you would say, it's not enough.
Now I'm going to give it to you at 19.5, dog.
All right, 19.5. Oregon covers this game. Oregon big over the boys from Boise.
I'm not picking this game because you're picking it. This is my favorite bet of the weekend.
Oh.
This is my favorite. Like, that's my favorite bet of the weekend. I think this is a bounce back spot. Went back and watched the game, the Oregon Idaho game. I know you did too. I know you studied it in detail.
Very, very much.
Just execution things. They'll be fine. Boise's not going to be able to run the ball against Oregon.
Yeah,
like
Oregon's got a big defensive line.
Yeah. I think this could get super, super ugly.
Uh-oh. Usually when Tyler disappears, I know who's on his way.
Hello, Scoops.
Hello, Joker.
How are we doing, sir?
We're good. It's Tyler's 5th pick.
It's his 5th pick?
It's his 5th pick.
Well, he said I could have this one.
Okay.
Neal, 1 year ago, the Nebraska Cornhuskers and first year of Matt Rule go out to Colorado. And Colorado, you know, they were all hyped, psyched. They ended up running the Cornhuskers off the field.
I remember that. Big win for Colorado.
It was a rough week for the Joker that year. You know, everybody was like, you know, it was just one of those things, right?
Yeah.
But not this year, Scoops.
It was a Big Ten win for Colorado. It was a big win.
Scoops. Shedeur Sanders. Shiloh Sanders. Travis Hunter. Jimmy Horn. They're going to travel.
All of Deion's kids.
All of Deion's kids. All 4 of them.
Yeah.
Are going. He only claims the ones that are really good. You know, he only claims the good ones.
Yeah.
So he's going to Lincoln this weekend. He's going to face the nicest fans in America.
Never been there. I've heard it's really friendly.
It messes with your head a little bit because you feel like they're being really passive aggressive. They're like, "Oh, good job, little Johnny. Great job," and you want to like flick them off.
Yeah.
But I think they really mean it. It messes with your head.
Yeah.
It really does.
I can tell.
It messes. That's what turned my hair green. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just one of those things. Well, here's the deal, Scoops. Nebraska is favored by 7.5 points. And it's not enough, Scoops.
Yeah.
Give me the Nebraska Cornhuskers 194, Colorado 6.
194 to 6.
194 to 6.
It's a big win.
Big win for the Cornhuskers. Matt Rule making a point in Lincoln, Nebraska. The place will be juiced. Give Scoops, give the Joker, Nebraska minus 7.5.
Got it.
Scoops, see you Monday.
See you Monday. That was the Joker, predictably picking against Colorado. 194 to 6. That'd be a lot of plays for Travis Hunter if they're chasing a 188-point deficit.
Well, just 1 point per snap, right?
I mean, yes, it's going to be a lot of work for Travis. All right, it's money line time. College level. This is kind of a loyalty thing here. I went with this team last week. Laid some points at home and they won. And this week they're an underdog at home. And this game's kind of personal to some of the coaches.
I would call it that.
Like,
I would say
a lot personal.
I would say this would be one of the more personal games in college football this week, if not the.
And the team they're playing, I don't think they're any good.
Oh.
I don't think they're any good. Give me ULM to upset UAB at home in Malone Stadium. ULM plus 360 money line.
Let's go. The Fighting Vincents. Get revenge. Love it. And for those that don't know, Bryant's been on our show. He's on our show draft night. He was the interim head coach at UAB. Went 9-3 as an interim head coach, and they hired somebody else. So I imagine this is going to be get back time.
I didn't see a lot of money lines that I liked, actually. I saw a handful of games where I didn't hate the underdog to cover. I don't hate Arkansas at +9. I don't hate that. I don't hate Mississippi State +4.5.
It's actually at 5.5 now.
I don't hate it. I know everybody's down on they're big on Arizona State. If you told me Mississippi State stays in that game late, I totally buy it. I don't hate Buffalo +35 because I think Missouri's going to get bored and play with its food a little bit. But there weren't a whole lot of games that I really liked from an underdog standpoint, so I'll go with my Warhawks.
All right. I like it. I'm a fan. I'll be watching. I got to watch my guy, Brian Vincent, do work. All right, Neal, my money line pick. This is probably not going to surprise you. I'm I had 3 that I liked, okay?
Okay.
My 3 money line picks that I was debating was the Tulsa money line against Arkansas State.
Yep.
I was debating the Mississippi State money line
Yep.
at Arizona State.
Yep.
But Neal, there was one that I've been calling for all off season. I've been
Okay.
waiting on this week.
Okay.
And I watched both of these teams play last week, and nothing changed my mind. Give me for the week 2 money line pick, and I'm 1-0 on money lines.
You hit your money line last week
so far. That just guaranteed to jinx myself. Here we go. My money line pick for week number 2 is give me the Fighting John Summeralls and the Tulane Green Wave to upset Kansas State at home in New Orleans. Give me Tulane plus 280.
Oh, wow. That's a good pick.
At home versus Kansas State. I think here's
the humidity will help them.
The weather will help. All right. But shocker, John Summerall's teams are playing good defense. They obviously shut out. They played great on defense. The only question you got is, John's trying to decide on a quarterback. He played 3 last week.
Yeah.
But defensively, they're really good. They're coached, obviously, extremely well. This will be a big win. And just letting everybody know, if this money line hits, not only will I be plus 280, there will be many ADs across the country that go,
Yeah.
Let me add that one to my list. If they're not already, let me add that one to their list.
They better hurry.
Yeah, they better hurry. So that was I'm going. Give me the Tulane Green Wave plus 280.
And I won't even be cryptic about this. I really believe Stoops to Iowa is a real thing.
Okay.
When that occurs, and if the Kentucky job opens,
he's first call.
It's John's if he wants it, and I would suspect he would want it.
I would.
I have no inside information on that, but I'm not a fool.
Yeah, I'm just not going to comment. How about that?
Yeah, there's no point. It's fine.
It's fine. I'm not going to comment. But I do. I'm biased on that one, but I love it. All right, games I did like real quick, and then we'll get to the NFL. Games I like, Neal, that I didn't pick. One is I told you the Kentucky minus 10 and the Oregon minus 19.5. 2 of my favorite personal wagers. I'm 100% on that one. All right, I'm going to bet this personally. I like Arkansas plus 7.5 at Oklahoma State. I just think it's going to be a close game. You know what I mean?
And if you
give me more than 7 points, I'm going to take Arkansas.
I think you're going to. I love the over in this game.
Yeah.
Look, this game's going to come down to one thing. Can Arkansas slow down Oklahoma State's running attack at all?
Yes.
If they can't, they have no chance. If they do, they have a real shot. Because I've said this all week. The one thing about that Arkansas versus Pine Bluff game, and it was the only thing you could take from it, was the offense looked different, and you could tell Taylor Green fits in that offense.
Yeah, he knows how to use him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and I thought Arkansas looked better up front, which is what you would expect from a Sam Pittman coached offensive line. And it's my understanding that he spent the overwhelming majority of the month of August coaching offensive line. And when he was Kirby's offensive line coach, most everybody said, hey, this is one of the best offensive line coaches in the country. Now, he had a lot more talent at Georgia than he has at Arkansas.
You still got to coach it.
Still got to coach it. And look, Travis Williams, who I covered at Auburn.
Yep.
I'm a little biased.
Good dude.
It was a great interview as a young player. I'm not surprised that he's a defensive coordinator at the college level already at this stage of his life. They weren't terrible on defense last year. They've got a shot. I think it's got a chance. I think Oklahoma State will win the game. But I'm like you. If you told me this was a 4-point game, I'm not all that surprised.
And if you give me a chance at a backdoor McCready, if you're plus 7.5, I mean, you got to. That's.
But if you told me this game's like 37-30, 37-31, totally buy it.
Yep, I agree there. All right, the other game I didn't go. I like it though. I really do. I know I watched them both. I know what I saw. I was surprised at the line here. I like Georgia Tech -3 at Syracuse. I didn't take it, but I like what I saw. I like Georgia Tech -3 at Arkansas. I like the Ole Miss bet we talked about. And then the Mississippi State-Arizona State game. I like Mississippi State plus the points. I debated on them with a money line for the show. Arizona State, I will say Arizona State looked damn good Saturday. They really did. I watched the entire game. they looked much improved. Now, when you start comparing, I mean, Mississippi State's going to have better athletes than Wyoming. And I said this about Mississippi State. The scheme, if you're a Mississippi State fan, you should be extremely excited. The scheme and what they were doing, the run fits, they were very sound schematically on both sides of the ball. They just don't have the horses that he needs at all the spots just right yet. But if you're a Mississippi State fan, you ought to be excited about Levy being your head coach. All right, Neal, let's go to the NFL. Real quick before we go, super chat from Austin. Thank you, sir. He says, we need someone from MPW to go through the show's history and put an edited video of every segment of the Joker. Yeah, that would probably get us canceled, I imagine. All right, go ahead.
All right. First one I'm taking here is just because I think it's a mismatch. The lines moved up a little bit, so I could have got it cheaper earlier in the week. But give me the Bengals. Cincinnati at home. Jamar Chase is practicing today.
That probably has some
probably is indicative of a contract that's about to get done. Joe Burrow's healthy. Bengals have a light schedule. They get the Patriot team that's Jacoby Brissett. Give me Cincinnati minus 8.5. I think Cincinnati wins handedly.
I like that pick. That's one of those. I got 7 games down to pick from, and that was one of them, or maybe 8 games. I love that pick. All right, Neal. We're starting it off on Thursday night. We're going to do it right now.
Okay.
For Thursday night, the first NFL game of the season is taking place.
Chiefs and Ravens.
You got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Kansas City is favored by 3 points, Neal.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Probably not enough.
It's too much.
Too much.
Give me the Baltimore Ravens plus 3.
Wow.
At Kansas City. Look, I think all kidding aside, the number one reason I'm going with this is we know Baltimore is going to be run heavy with Lamar and Derrick Henry, all that stuff. I think you're going to see more pistol stuff out of Baltimore because they got to get Derrick Henry downhill instead of running, from the side. That's just not his deal.
So you're thinking that maybe Travis is a little upset about the breakup?
No, I don't think the alleged breakup is the deal. I think the deal is when you are
the alleged breakup.
When you are a passing team in the NFL versus a running team, it's the same thing that happened to the Lions and the Chiefs a year ago.
It was a great game last year.
It takes a little bit for the passing game and the timing and things to get up, especially when they've had a week off and haven't got a lot of reps. It's easy to turn around and hand the ball off. Give me the running team over the passing team week 1.
Okay.
All day.
All right. Week 2, I can't believe I'm doing this, but for some reason, I kind of have a feeling that the Arizona Cardinals are going to start okay. They're at Buffalo. I'm not crazy about the Bills. Kyler Murray's healthy. They finished the season pretty good. Arizona did. They get 6.5. I don't think they win, but I think they cover a big number. Give me Arizona plus 6.5 at Buffalo.
Let's go. Yeah, Buffalo's it's like Josh Allen and then the rest of the guys at this point in time.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about them.
Yeah.
By the way, great news, Damar Hamlin making his first start since that fateful night in Cincinnati.
That's rough. Neal, my second game. I'm surprised you left this one on the table for me. I'm a little shocked.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I told somebody today when they were asking about my NFL picks, I said, I want to pick this one on the show. I said, but I won't be able to pick it because Neal's going to pick this game.
Okay.
And you didn't pick it.
Okay.
Or you're not going to pick it. Neal, there's a game going on in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, yeah. I did think about this one.
The Colts are at home. They're getting 3 points from the Texans. Give me C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans to beat the shit out of the Indianapolis Colts in an NFL blowout. Give me the Texans -3 on the road against AR and the Indianapolis Colts. I'm taking the Texans.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. And Brendan and Clay, they sent this to me today. I didn't realize this. Do you know that he's getting his second year in the NFL? Okay. Week 1 is going to be Anthony Richardson's 18th start since he left high school.
Wow. Since high school. This will be his 18th start at quarterback. How crazy does that sound? That is crazy.
Since high school, he started. This is his 18th start.
Wow. That's a huge. Wow.
It does blow your mind a little bit, doesn't it?
It does.
So give me C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans -3.
Okay. All right. I'm going back to the state of Florida. We got a Florida game. The Jacksonville Jaguars head to Miami. They are getting 3.5 points against the Tua and the homestanding Dolphins. This has Miami blowout written all over it. Miami's healthy. It's early in the season. It's hot. The Jags will be standing in the sun. Dolphins minus 3.5 over Jacksonvile.
A lot of Jags. No love on the Jags this offseason.
It's hard the way they finished that season. It was kind of hard to.
Everybody's out on the Jags. They're out on the Jags. I don't get it. Neal, my third game. I've told you about my love of the two colors, orange and blue.
Yeah.
I've told you that.
Yeah.
Grind. Do you know, like, if you cut my soul deep down open, like if you got right now and you just cut me deep down open,
you're orange and
somewhere way deep, and it's way down there.
Yeah,
it's
way
deep.
deep.
It's way deep. There's this little
because
bitty.
most of those people watch most of the people that when you cut them open, it's orange and blue. They're watching the Kick Six game like every 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way deep. It's beyond that. It's like a CTE brain cell. It's buried.
Yeah.
It's buried way deep. Way deep.
deep.
But if you cut me open just enough, you may find a little speck of orange and blue in there.
Okay.
There may be a speck.
Okay.
And what better way to start week 1 of the National Football League of not only taking a team that wears orange and blue, but taking a quarterback that used to wear orange and blue.
Until they chased him off.
Until they chased him off. Give me the Denver Broncos +6 at Seattle. Give me the Denver Broncos +6 at Seattle. Bo Nix, NFL Rookie of the Year.
That is a really interesting game.
It really is, actually.
At Seattle, which can be a tough place to play. A pretty solid NFL team. Nothing special about them. First start for a rookie quarterback. Sean Payton's got to be careful that he doesn't put too much on his plate. Interesting game.
Interesting game. All right, Bo, pick 4 for you.
All right, you have your rookie quarterback. I got my rookie quarterback. The Chicago Bears open the Caleb Williams era at home at historic Soldier Field against the Tennessee Titans, who've not had a great offseason. The Bears are giving 3.5. I think the Bears could give 8.5. Give me the Bears big at home over Tennessee. It's a Caleb Williams celebration in week 1. Look, Bears aren't winning the North. They're probably not making the playoffs. But at the end of this season, I think people are going to be pretty excited about the direction of their franchise. He's the deal.
Neal, I'm going to save the suspense. My 4th pick, give me the Chicago Bears -3.5. I'm riding. Let's go.
Bear down.
Hey, first game at home. Everything's been going in the right direction.
Yep.
Tennessee's been going the other direction.
Yep.
I think this is it's almost like an NFL setup game. They're not going to make Caleb Williams look bad week 1. Give me the Chicago Bears -3.5.
All right. And then probably one you and I disagree on. I'm not a Panthers fan right now. I'm not going to go into reasons why, but I'm not a Panthers fan right now. Panthers go to New Orleans to play the Saints. Look, the Saints are going to be a mediocre team. I think that's going to be more than the Panthers can say at the end of the season. I just don't like that team. Give me the Saints -3.5 at home over the Carolina Panthers.
I actually agree with that pick.
Okay.
Not picking it, but
okay.
I that's one of my 7. I agree with that pick 100%.
All right.
Chase, he's going to talk himself out of it. He's going to be he's a negative Nancy Saints fan. But
he's like most Saints fans now.
I think
in fairness to Chase, there's a lot of negativity around the Saints.
I actually like that line. All right, Neal, my last game. I'm going against the grain here a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to go against the grain. Friday night.
There's
a game in Brazil.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me tell you
why.
You
won't hear about that on Twitter.
You won't hear about that one on Twitter.
Twitter not allowed
Twitter's
in Brazil.
not allowed that. All right, here we go. Here's my deal. And this is kind of the way they're reacting to this game is why I'm going. You see all these Eagles players complaining like, why do we got to go play? We got to go to Brazil. I can't come out of my hotel room. It's all Eagles players. You don't see any Packers players doing it. Give me the Green Bay Packers +2.5 against the soft-ass Philadelphia Eagles on Friday night.
I actually love that pick. I love that pick. For no reason.
I can't get out of my hotel room.
I've told you, I'm a little sour on the Eagles, man. I think the window has closed on Philadelphia a little bit. I really do. And Green Bay's good. Jordan Love was good last year. people treat it fluky. And I'm like, he was really legitimately good.
I mean, does anybody else see anything wrong with this? The Eagles players are complaining about having to leave the hotel. They live in Philly, and they're worried about going. They're living in Philly, and they're worried about going out of their hotel room in Brazil. Kiss my ass. Give me the Green Bay Packers.
No, we'll see.
Just out of
I will
out of
say
point.
Brazil's a little squirrely right now.
Hey, have you seen Philly lately?
Well, it's true.
Let's go. Give me the freaking.
At least in Philly, you can kind of express your thoughts for now.
Yeah, for another 2 months.
Yeah. In 2 months, though, we're shutting that thing down.
So, hey, Pennsylvania, first of all, I don't mean to piss you off because it is up to you guys, okay?
Yeah.
How we feel in the next 2 months is up to you guys. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. Sorry. I'm sorry. I take it all back. You're great. Please do the right thing. All right, Neal.
Who do the Commodores play week 1? The Commanders, I mean?
I can't remember. I looked at it.
I
didn't like it.
That's another game.
Buccaneers?
Maybe. I'm interested in that one because it's
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, yeah.
Jaden Daniels. All right, Neal. Tell me about our good friend Cole Walters. We got to roll. We got to hard off here.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Life advice presented by Cole Walters, State Farm Insurance. Cole is licensed in auto, home, life, health, business, pet insurance for the whole state of Georgia. Contact Cole at 706-525-7850. You can also find him online, ColeWaltersInsurance.com.
Neal, I wanted to end the show with this because I didn't want to. This really bothered. I was really in a bummed mood yesterday. Just really, anytime something like this happens, we got a lot of world champs that listen to us, and if you have a child or you're a parent or really an American, yesterday was rough. I want to say first of all, I know it's very. It's a term that's overused when people say, "Hey, thoughts and prayers and condolences to the people of Winder, Georgia, for the school shooting yesterday." But yesterday, I immediately I'm sure you did the same thing. Is you immediately put yourself in that position, like, what if that was my children or whatever? And yesterday, 4 families got ruined forever. And here's kind of my life advice, okay, from this deal. It was very, very upsetting for me yesterday. I was in a funky mood from when I heard about it at noon yesterday till the rest of the day. But here's kind of my life advice: is when people politicize or use tragedies like this to promote their agenda, okay, don't be that guy. Okay, we're not in control of what the media puts out there. We're not in control of what a politician does, but you can be in control of your own thoughts and the way that you communicate that. So don't be that guy. If you have an agenda or politicizing things, there's going to be time later for discussions. Yesterday's not it. And to me, and this is my opinion, that's almost the ultimate disrespect to the families. Because they don't want to hear you 2 hours after they're going and having to be told that their child has deceased or their husband or their father was killed in a school shooting. They don't want somebody pushing a political agenda on you. They just want, you can talk about all that shit later, but when you take something, a tragedy like that, and you push your own agenda, to me that's the ultimate disrespect, and I would like to throat punch you. That really bothers me as a human being, that people do that, and it's not just this one. It happens every time, right? And that really, as a common sense person, and I call it the middle 85% that have common sense. I know because we got 7.5% on this side and 7.5% on this side that argue about the wrong shit. That's very disrespectful and one of the most, and that bothers me. So my life advice would be, if that thought comes to you, just wait. There's plenty of times later for that discussion. Now is not the time. And that really, that's probably my life. Don't contribute to the dumbness of America.
That's well put. I agree.
So that was my life advice.
I mean, those things are always horrible. It's every parent's worst nightmare. It's a shame that it's something we have to think about. It is what it is. I don't mean that in a flippant way. I mean, I don't. It's very complicated. These issues are complicated. I'm one of the people. We're not gonna stay on it. I'm one of the people that I'm kind of in the middle on a lot of this. Except I saw what happened in 2020, and I understand why one side says, "See, that's why you can't ever budge. There's never a compromise. It's constant." When you have a collective bargaining agreement, you meet in the middle on some things, and then you agree, and that's the end of the negotiations for a while. We don't have that, and like you said, and you said very eloquently, 4 families were destroyed. People's lives were ruined yesterday. There were parents who will never be the same again. If you have little ones, you know that the one goal is that you are not around when they pass. You don't want to be there. When mine,
Well, that's the parent's worst nightmare, right?
yeah, when mine, I want mine to live long,
Yeah.
happy lives, and the day that is their last day, I want to have been long gone.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's tragic. It really is. I did yesterday when I saw that, I turned off everything. I knew what was coming, and just got away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and it's magnified because of the year we're in.
Sure.
Okay. But don't be that guy. Even if you think it, be respectful.
And
there's
especially
nothing wrong with being a good human. It's actually okay to be a good human.
and especially when you don't really know all the details.
Yeah, just fucking talking with no idea. Like
it just becomes a political talking point right away, and you don't really know the background.
Yep, that's all I got, boss.
That's all I got too.
Y'all have a wonderful weekend.
Stay tuned on MPW Digital. We've got more programming coming your way. The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor coming to you at in about 13 minutes or so, followed by Pete's Pigskin Preview. Pete's going to get you ready for Middle Tennessee at Ole Miss. And then Chase Parham and I will conclude things later this afternoon with Hand Raise Guys presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. In case you missed it, MPW Digital Extra aired before this. Chris Lowe joined. We talked about Lane Kiffin quite a bit. Also talked to Ben Mintz, Barstool Sports. So a lot of programming you can catch up on. We'll get all this to you in podcast form as well here on the MPW Digital Network. Have a great weekend. See you on this show on Monday. Bye.